Hello and welcome to another Vinny Talks Yanks. I'm your host Vincent LaRose, and I'm officially going to say it. The old Yankees are dead. They've obviously, or not so obviously, they've been dead for a while. Now it's more obvious than ever. I think we can kiss a good days goodbye of the Yankees outspending other teams and getting top free agents. We can kiss the days goodbyes of the Yankees always trading for the best guy possible. We can kiss the days goodbye of the Yankees outbidding for guys, and we can kiss the days goodbye of the Yankees outspending everybody else. They're still going to overpay for players because I think the most common problem here is Brian Cashman. And you would say, well, Hal Steinbrenner is the most common problem because, of course, he's the guy that is vetoing everything. He's the guy vetoing spending all this money. He's the guy vetoing a lot of different transactions for the Yankees because of the money. But at the end of the day, you got to realize this. Brian Cashman gave out the DJ LeMahieu contract. He gave out the Aaron Hicks contract. He traded for Josh Johnson when he was owed a ton of money. And, I mean, we could go down a list. We could go down a long list of bad trades and terrible signings, along with a list of good trades and good signings. But unfortunately, right now, how it looks like the bad is outweighing the good and is really affecting the Yankees in a harsh way. The Yankees have to pay $15 million this season for DJ LeMahieu. The Yankees are still paying Giancarlo Stanton a ton of money. He's no longer worth as much as I love Stanton. He's not worth the 20. I believe 20. What is he getting? 27 million. I may be wrong about that. So I know it cuts in half, about half next year. And just it sucks because the Yankees are just. We all grew up like. I'm 21 years old. I was born in 04. I'll be 22 this year. The Yankees won in 09. I was a kid. I truly didn't care. I've never watched the Yankees win a World Series. And so many of the people that showed me this game and showed me the Yankees got to grow up in essentially the golden era of the Yankees. The 90s, when Gene Michaels was able to create the core four, should have been core five. I don't know why they always forget about Bernie. But the core four and create one of the best dynasties in baseball history. And now we're sitting here wondering why the Yankees won't just go out and sign Bichette and Bellinger and trade for Kwan or do whatever. Obviously, you can't do all three of those. That's not possible, but it's tough. But that's my little intro into this video or this podcast. So first, before we get into anything, we're going to recap all the Bellinger scenarios. I know it's been essentially the same thing over and over again, but it's still worth talking about. The Yankees are still making him their number one priority of this offseason, and there's still some to be said. So as it all started to begin the offseason, Scott Boras and Cody Bellinger were high on some insanely amazing drug apparently, and they thought they were going to go out and get an 8-year, $400 million contract. That was very obviously shot down by every single person that was shown to. Then they thought they could get 7 years. That was shot down. Then they thought they could get 6, and that was negotiated. And as of now, it's looking like Cody Bellinger is going to be sitting at about 5 years. And truthfully, the Yankees are still named the favorite to pick up Bellinger. Unfortunately, apparently talks are still a long ways away. They are not nearing a contract, and it doesn't seem like that will happen anytime soon. It also seems like Kyle Tucker is waiting to see where Cody Bellinger goes, to see where his market is, as Kyle Tucker has reports have come out that Kyle Tucker is likely going to have to take a high AAV shorter term deal because teams are not willing to give out very large contracts at this moment because of the 2027 lockout fears. And I get it. I wouldn't either. But you have to realize, for example, for Cody Bellinger, there's a possibility you paying him for 5 years and he only plays 4 because of the lockout. You paying him, and there's all these possibilities, and it's tough. It's tough at the end of the day. It's a tough job. Brian Cashman doesn't have an easy job at the end of the day, and I understand that. But I think there's very many GMs around baseball that could have worked with what Brian Cashman had to work with and made a better team. I mean, when you have players like A-Rod and Jeter essentially making fun of you, telling you that your roster build is horrible and Aaron Boone is kind of a scapegoat for you to put the blame on is tough. But anyways, the Cody Bellinger stuff is interesting. The Yankees are still favored to land him. But I saw something today I think I like way more than the Cody Bellinger trade. Or I'm sorry, the Cody Bellinger return. So to start, this said scenario would mean we sign Bo Bichette instead of Cody Bellinger, as Bo Bichette was named Cody Bellinger's, the backup plan, essentially. So the Yankees would sign Bo Bichette, and they would not trade Jazz Chisholm. I don't know in what world people are thinking this is a good idea. Even if the Yankees front office thinks they should trade Jazz Chisholm, you're out of your mind. If you're putting Jazz Chisholm, Bo Bichette, Anthony Volpe, Ryan McMahon, Jose Caballero, Cabrera, Rice, all in the same room, and you had to pick one infielder to put on your team, if you said any other answer than Jazz Chisholm, you're wrong. Jazz Chisholm is the best out of that group. Just because he can't hit lefties doesn't mean he's not better than every one of those guys. Jazz Chisholm is a way better defender than people are making it seem like he is. I understand he has a problem with his mouth, can't shut his mouth with umpires, has a little bit of Marcus Stroman Twitter fingers there. But Jazz Chisholm is the best, one of the better second basemen in baseball, one of the better infielders in baseball, and I don't see how you think trading your best infielder away makes this team better. You better be getting an ace pitcher. You better be getting an insane haul for him. We don't need prospects right now. That's the truth. Of course, is it always good to build prospect capital? Of course, you could use that to trade for something better in the future. But Judge's days are running out. Garrett Cole's days are running out. Carlos Rodon, Max Fried, all these guys you gave massive contracts to are getting older. Stanton is almost done. The Yankees need a right now win team. And trading Jazz Chisholm is not helping your team right now win. I'd rather have Jazz Chisholm's horrible defense supposedly at shortstop, or Bo Bichette's horrible defense at shortstop, than having Anthony Volpe over Jazz Chisholm. What is wrong with any of you guys that think that Jazz Chisholm should be traded off this team? I don't care about the money. I don't care about he's going to be a free agent next year. Guess what? It's almost going to be impossible for him to sign a contract next year. So why do you care? It makes no sense to me. Anybody that thinks Jazz Chisholm should be traded is wrong. I will stand on that. You can argue with me. Go in the comments. Argue with me all you want. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're just wrong. But this is a said scenario where I saw this kind of makeup of an offseason that I really do like. So the Yankees, whether they lose on Bellinger or whether they decide not to go the Bellinger avenue, I really like this. You sign Bo Bichette, you haven't played shortstop for a season. 2027 is going to be a lockout. You give Volpe a little bit more time if you want to keep him. Maybe bounce him around the infield, make him into an infield, like a utility infield guy. But Bichette gets hurt, Jazz gets hurt, McMahon, people are going to get hurt. Like, there's still going to be a spot for Volpe. Use Volpe in that sense. Have Bichette and his poor defense at shortstop. You can always put in a defensive replacement, and you already improved the lineup there. And the lineup is one of the biggest improvements. I saw people saying that our infield defense is bad. What are you talking about? We have one of the best defensive third basemen in baseball at third. Volpe, although it was rough last year, likely because of the shoulder, he's a good shortstop. He's won a Gold Glove. Jazz Chisholm is a really good second baseman. Again, I don't know why people say he's not. I get Ben Rice 100%. Completely understand. But Austin Wells and JC Escar are both good defensive catchers. So whoever thinks our defense in the infield's bad is wrong. Judge is a great defensive right fielder. Grisham's obviously an elite defensive center fielder. I know left field's a little shaky. I understand. But you maybe have two positions out of the 9 Or you like, even our pitchers are good defenders. Like, we don't have bad defense. Yes, putting Bichette at short makes our defense worse. I understand that. But anyways, so you throw Bichette at short, you sign him, and then you trade for Kwan, who is an elite, one of the best defensive left fielders in all of baseball, has played 4 seasons in left field for his career, has won 4 Gold Gloves. He's probably the best left fielder in baseball defensively. He's probably the best defensive left fielder in baseball. And he also plays in Cleveland with that massive wall out there. I would love to see this. So you get Bichette, you get Kwan, you bolster the bullpen down. Now you have added, Kwan can hit anybody, so you don't got to worry about the lefty stuff. Now you have 2 bat-to-ball guys replacing guys who just struck out a ton, and you improve your defense in left field mightily. You still have a good defensive center fielder and right fielder, and you're really now only losing at shortstop. And in a perfect world, I would sign Bellinger and have Rice be the majority day catcher and have Bellinger play first base, but that's not going to happen. That's extremely unrealistic. The Yankees aren't going to do anything like that. Then in that sense, you can also still trade for Peralta and make that pitching elite, and you're still about where you were last year with payroll, and you have a way better team. Obviously this requires trading for Steven Kwan, and Steven Kwan is not going to be cheap. Guardians are not going to give him up for cheap. Guardians are also a team that's a pain in the ass to trade with. People might be like, no, they're not. Yes, they are. They know what prospects to pick. They're very good at getting prospects. Remember Corey Kluber? That's how they got Emmanuel Clase. They know how to trade well, so I understand a little bit of a fear trading with them there. But this would put you lead off Steven Kwan. You can throw Judge at the 2. Either Judge at the 2, or you can throw Bichette at the 2, Judge at the 3, Rice at 4, Stanton at 5. And then you can work out the rest of your lineup there. Jazz at 6, wherever it has to be. That lineup is deep, and that lineup is good, and there's a ton. Now you have a mix of bat to ball and power. You still have the power that you love, and now you just added 2 more guys who are bat to ball. Dominguez and Volpe weren't bat to ball guys last year. You just improved your team tremendously in 3 moves. That's all you have to do. You sign Bichette, which apparently there's mutual interest in. You trade for Kwan, which is going to be probably the toughest part about it. And then you try your best to also get Peralta. The issue I see in doing this is the Yankees don't have a lot of prospect capita outside of Jones. Lombard Jr. I always forget his name. He's the pitcher we got when we traded we got from the Red Sox in our trade last year. I'm forgetting his name. He's very good as well. Outside of that, we don't have a ton of prospects, so it's going to be tough, and you'd probably have to trade MLB-ready talent to Cleveland. They might want a Caballero or a Cabrera, but being honest, I'm willing to give up an Oswaldo Cabrera or a Jose Caballero if you're going to get a Steven Kwan, who he's consistently been on the field. He's had a consistently good batting average, and he had a little more pop last year too, and he's an elite defender. So this team, that is where I would attack as of now. I'm still all for re-signing Bellinger. I would love to re-sign Bellinger. I'm just afraid that if Bellinger does end up going to the Mets or going to the Dodgers, the Yankees really don't have too much of a backup plan. In my eyes, I think they're going to be happy they got to save the money to roll out Dominguez and Spencer Jones in left field and try to trade for a starting pitcher and get some bullpen help. I don't see them doing too much if they lose out on Cody Bellinger, and I'm really worried about that. The Yankees are, just like they've been since 2017, are in a prime position to where they just need to make about 3 moves, and their team is one of the best in baseball. I mean, I don't see it. The Guardians are going to want to get off Kwan, man. They're not going to pay him. We all know that. Kwan, and it's more than likely, although yes, he has 2 more years on his contract, probably his last year because of what's going to happen next year. So, the only way I can see there being a major issue is the 2027 lockout is way, like, the contract, the negotiations. If MLB owners know likely nothing's going to happen, and there's going to be a significant lockout, whether that means only very little amounts of baseball are played in 27, or no baseball at all is played in 27. It wouldn't surprise me if there was no baseball played in 27, which obviously sucks, because we all love baseball, and that's why we even talk about it. That's why we watch it. But to me, it's very possible with what's been going on, especially with the last lockout, how that went down with the Players Association, and now it's rumored that the owners are going to hammer home harder that there needs to be a salary cap and a floor, but some owners will not do salary cap if there's not a floor. It's going to be an absolute nightmare, and it might even be a scenario where owners can't agree with each other, and that would not surprise me. A lot of guys are tired of paying luxury tax to teams who won't spend money. The Yankees have spent over $500 million in luxury tax since that has become a thing. The Dodgers and the Mets are back to back right there. So it's tough when you spend all that money and you don't win anything. I don't think at the end of the day that Hal doesn't care about winning World Series. I don't think the World Series isn't his number one priority like George's was, but I do think he wants the Yankees to win a World Series. He just doesn't see a World Series more important than profit, and that's just going to be a thing that we have to live with. I don't think we're going to some Moneyball or some Rays scenarios, but I would expect to be maybe the third, fourth, or fifth payroll where the Dodgers are going to spend more money. As of now, the Blue Jays and the Mets are going to spend more money. The Yankees have the fourth payroll, maybe even the fifth payroll. No, it's the fourth right now. The fourth, maybe it's the fourth. I don't remember 100%. Arbitration numbers haven't come out yet, so I think it's the fourth in baseball as of now. And the Blue Jays are going to spend more money. What I like what the Blue Jays are doing is, one, they got back to the playoffs. They got to the World Series last year. And I think that ownership group really saw how much it means not only to Toronto, but to Canada for that team to get there. For that team to make the playoffs, be as electric as they were in the playoffs. And they're going to take advantage of that. They're going to take advantage of a fan base that is ready for more playoff, more competitive baseball in years to come. And they're going to spend the money. Why would you not spend the money? You just updated your stadium a ton. You made it more fan friendly. Fans love going to. I don't like the Blue Jays right now, but I'd love to go to Rogers Center. It's a beautiful stadium, so I've heard. I don't see why you wouldn't spend money. You have a pretty good team. You have a great fan base, and I see no reason why you wouldn't. And honestly, it's the same thing with the Yankees, except they're just not doing it. Why would you not spend the money? Why? You make so much money. I don't care what Hal says. He's full of shit. There's no way he's not making all that money. I don't get it. But there's still avenues the Yankees need to attack. The bullpen was one of the main things the Yankees need to upgrade this offseason, and they've done absolutely nothing to upgrade the bullpen. It's so confusing to me. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen an offseason wait this late. The Yankees haven't had a single addition as of yet that has changed the team at all. They've really only had addition by subtraction with getting rid of Williams and Weaver. I mean, I don't know anymore. It's so hard. Like, you guys have probably seen how, like, I used to post a video maybe once a day, every other day, maybe 3-4 times a week. It's once a week now. There's nothing going on other than trade rumors. And the whole Cabrera stuff today, the Yankees, if you guys didn't know, we're in talks to trade with for Edward Cabrera from the Miami Marlins, and they just didn't get him. The Cubs ended up winning that talk, and they overpaid for him. Absolutely, I know the Cubs needed a starting pitcher, but your number one prospect and another two prospects for a guy with the over 4 ERA in his career, and a guy who has been consistently hurt in his career as well, is insane. I'm happy the Yankees didn't make that trade. I'm happy Cashman used his head in the sense of they were asking for way too much there. That tells me they wanted like George Lombard Jr. for Edward Cabrera, and I don't think anybody in the world does that right now. Like, I mean, if it was a one-on-one swap, maybe, but I wouldn't do that either. that I'm actually very curious to see what the Marlins ask for. Because they got the Cubs' #1 prospect, man. Oh my God, for Edward Cabrera. The Marlins usually suck at trading too. They fleece the Cubs. Wow. He has years of service though. I will give the Cubs that, and they have a good group over there that can work with starters. So maybe not the end of the world. I mean, I do see why the Cubs ended up pulling the trigger there. They needed a starter bad, but of course, a bunch of Yankees fans are mad or upset about that. That was not a good trade for us at the end of the day. I wanted Cabrera more over Peralta, one, because of years of service, two, because now we know the Yankees aren't willing to spend that much money, and Cabrera's way cheaper, so that would tell me they are able to add better bullpen pieces. I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's a hard off season right now. It's very hard to follow, because you follow so closely, but at the same time you try not to pay attention because there's just nothing going on. It's so tough. But I'm not gonna keep rambling on about what the Yankees. We all understand the position the Yankees are in. It's really hard to just talk about the same things over and over again with the Bellinger stuff, with the trade stuff, with everything going on. We all know what the Yankees have to do. They have to step up. There's really only 4 guys right now you could go and get and spend a ton of money on, and I only think if 2 are on the table, and that being Bellinger and Bichette. I think every other free agent isn't even crossing their mind right now. They have no interest. They have an interest in Bellinger, Bichette, and a trade for a starter and a trade for some bullpen pieces. But that is really all I got today. Leave comments down below. I want to read what you guys think about all of this, everything that's going on, the worries with the lockout being for next year. Obviously, our concerns as fans is the team not playing, as the team is not really doing much this offseason. Let me know what you guys think. But as always, I appreciate everybody watching on the on the YouTube side, or if you're listening on the podcast side, everybody's appreciated. I hope everybody has had a wonderful day. I hope everybody had a good holidays, and as always, go Yankees.